Now we welcome Kathleen McClung. She's an educator, a book publishing professional, an award-winning writer, and the new sponsor judge for the brand new sonnet category that we'll be having next year. She'll be calling for contemporary, beautiful crafted sonnets on the theme of the beloved. Anyway, Kathleen won first prize in the literary nonfiction category, and she's going to read an excerpt from Fake Tooth.
Thank you, Eileen, and thank you all for being such a wonderfully attentive, loving audience. It's a delight to be here. One Saturday morning not long ago, I set off from home a bit preoccupied, distracted. Luckily, I didn't get very far, less than a block. I smiled at a woman walking her dog, and she furrowed her brow in a quizzical way. Then it hit me. I knew exactly what I was missing. My front tooth. I turned right around, backtracked to my apartment, and hurried to the bathroom where my artificial tooth floated all night in a plastic cup. I have worn this fake tooth for almost 10 years, ever since a dentist diagnosed bone loss, pulled my real tooth, and outfitted me with a removable replacement she jauntily referred to as a flipper. In all of these years, I've never left the house without it. If I'd not smiled at the woman walking her dog, here is what might have happened. I stop in at the organic grocery near my office and order coffee. Uttering the word please, shaping the pl sound, I feel the hole in my gum. The proprietor, a handsome, jovial fellow, chats on about fair trade coffee beans. Maybe he notices the hole, but he is discreet. He does not say I look like a hillbilly. I like this fellow, even though I hardly know him. He doesn't know where I go with my $2 cup of organic coffee after I leave his shop. He doesn't know that I sip it in a quiet office as I open my laptop and wait for a new screen to bloom. On Saturday mornings, a cluster of middle-aged men from the neighborhood sit at a big table near the front of his market. The men drink coffee and swap stories. Like the proprietor, they too are jovial, delighted with the late September sunlight pouring in the window. They sit together, tearing open little sugar packets and passing among themselves tips and tales, facts and fantasies. There's a lot of laughter among them as I pay for my coffee before leaving for solitude, a place where I struggle mightily to find and order my own words on the white of a screen. The men at the table may themselves be missing teeth or other parts of their bodies, a finger, a pancreas, a testicle. As they clink spoons against mugs, they may tell each other stories of how they lost these pieces of themselves, surgeries, accidents, pranks gone wrong. They may pause or speed up, find ways to make light of the loss, make their listeners laugh, in fact. Conversation among the men may have that tinge of competitive talk, who gets the most laughs, the biggest, the longest, whose whopper is the wildest. As I grow older, I may lose other parts of my body too, more significant than teeth. As pieces of me fall away, I want my losses and accumulations to be healthy and balanced, not lopsided, not out of whack. But I wonder about my inner scale. Is it sturdy? Will it withstand bigger losses? I wrestle with these questions now, I think, because my father died suddenly less than a year ago. He and I were very close. We spoke on the phone or emailed almost daily. Leaving home one morning without my front tooth is infinitesimally trivial compared to no longer having my father in my life. I miss talking with him. I miss his steadiness, his gentle, dependable, fatherly concern on matters great and small. Most of the newest piles in my apartment are his books and magazines, his files, and box after box of his photographs and slides, produced and preserved over many decades. I acquired this legacy when I helped my stepmother clear out my father's office, and I don't yet have it neatly integrated into my life. Will I ever? Much of it is piled on my dining table in plain sight. Nothing is cataloged or inventoried. I just have stuff, piles of stuff, which is, I suppose, one shape my grief takes, one outcropping visible to the naked eye. These accumulations feel important to hold on to. It still feels too painful to weed through them, sort, separate, organize, or I shudder to say, throw them away. Right now, everything is a keepsake. A woman walking her dog sliced through my distraction and made me aware of something crucial I was missing, something from my own body, a tiny object, handcrafted by a trained technician. The unsmiling woman walking her Pomeranian sent me home for my fake tooth, a necessity, a way to greet the world in my season of mourning. Once I did insert the familiar piece of porcelain, the size of a manicured fingernail, the day changed, shifted. I did, in fact, chat with the proprietor about his aromatic new coffee beans. I did, in fact, beam at the 3 balding men at the table and chirp, "Gorgeous day, huh?" and linger long enough to chuckle at their kooky one-liners about the upside of global warming. I did, in fact, chuckle with my mouth wide open. And then, closing the shop door behind me, I walked to a quiet, uncluttered room of my own. I opened my computer and got to work. I may forget my tooth again someday. This is quite possible. And in another season, when the word mourning appears less frequently on my screen, I may begin leaving behind, by choice, other things too. I may eventually stop holding on so tightly to the proof of my father's life. I may loosen my grip. I imagine chipping away at the piles, gradually, late at night, while my neighbors sleep. In the silence of winter, I will do this labor slowly, quietly, over time, the way that icebergs used to melt before the earth got so hot, before everything speeded up. Thank you.